You're joking, right?
Well, I'm trying to be hopeful. I'm trying to be optimistic about that.
Well, I guess you're too young to be a little pessimistic like me. The fucking things I see out there, people are stupid.
You got to hold your mic, just so you know.
What up, Ronnie Boo?
Hi,
Hi, everybody.
I like that wallpaper too. It's nice.
Isn't it? It's a good-looking bathroom.
Tropical.
Good-looking bathroom.
Yeah.
So how's everybody doing? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
You had a nice weekend?
Yep.
It was
We're
nice.
in Miami.
It's a little hot.
Well, it's summer in Miami.
Yeah, but it was a nice weekend.
It's end of June in Miami. That's
good,
the hottest.
Good weekend.
Yeah. It's nice being here.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
This is where I live, so I like it.
No, but it's nice for me to come down and spend a good time with my boys. Go back in a couple of hours. Where are we going to go for lunch? We'll talk later.
I had a place in mind that I haven't been and you haven't been, and it's new.
Is it a fancy food place?
It's like the place I took you last time in
Love
Brickell.
it,
It's
yeah.
just a cafe. It's called All Day Cafe.
Done.
Not a sponsor.
Done.
They're not. But that's where we're going to go.
Not a robot.
Yeah.
100% will go to that because Mom likes the fucking.
No, it's literally a cafe. It's mainly a coffee shop, but they also serve breakfast, like Crema, where we went.
That
last
was
time.
good.
Also not a sponsor.
Okay.
But Crema's good. If you're in Miami and you need a coffee shop, Panther actually is number one. They're also not a sponsor, but I love Panther and I stick by them. That's just for coffee.
Can we try to get them a sponsor?
Yeah, I actually like know the guy who runs all their marketing. We've talked. He's like a friend now. Bryce and I.
I didn't
met
ask
him
about your relationship. I asked to end.
They just don't do marketing at all.
All right.
But I know him, and Bryce and I know him, and we're fans of the Panther brand.
I know
and
you
the
like
people
it.
behind it.
That's nice.
And it's local.
That's nice.
And I go to their roastery here, and this is not an ad, so you're welcome, Michael. That's the
It's
guy.
Very nice. Very nice.
He actually might listen to the podcast. So
we hope everybody had a nice weekend and spent some good time with their loved ones and they just enjoyed and relaxed because you, our listeners, deserve it.
Yeah, some of them don't. Some people hate listening to this podcast.
But if even they hate it, they still deserve to relax on the weekend.
I love that people hate listen. Like, I know people because I have friends who will tell me that there are people that will like text them like, "Oh my God, did you hear what Bronson said?" in a bad way, like trying to like
get a life.
But it's like then it's like I know you listen. Then
we have
hi.
We have a family here in Boca that we're not gonna mention names that we're friends with. Okay, and the diehard liberals, which is completely fine. We don't give a shit about that. You know who I'm talking about, Bronny.
Well, they're not liberals. If you're but yeah, modern liberals, sure.
But either
it's like I'm liberal.
Yeah, so am I.
Right, like
no, but they're retarded. Listen, so we were friends with
progressives, which is different.
We were friends with them, and they, unbeknownst to us, until we had our close friends tell us, they can't stand us. Like, it's hysterical. They have said to our close friends, more than one, how are they friends with us? And like trying to get them not to be friends with us.
Yeah. So hi guys, you know who you are.
Now I don't give a fuck. Because I don't have anything against them. I was shocked to find that out. And kudos to my couple of friends that basically told them to go fuck themselves in a nice way, which is really great. And shout out to you guys. But it's weird.
It's crazy. Remember?
Because I have nothing against these people.
But I was what are you saying that's so crazy? And even sometimes you say things, but it's like, okay, so.
Right. And
I just don't understand.
And even if I say things, okay, that you don't agree with, does that mean you should badmouth someone?
Well, to progressives, it does, yes.
Like, live and let live. And I don't really care. Again, I don't care because I have enough friends as it is. I don't need new friends. But I was a little shocked. No great loss. But I was a little shocked. But I would love to have a conversation with them, like, say that, like, just be like, are you fucking retarded?
Yeah.
Seriously, what the fuck is with
just you even saying that word that will be like
I don't give a
no, I know, but in their mind they'll be like, oh, I can't be friends with someone
don't
like
care.
that.
Like, fuck them.
But the only reason they think that is because they're told that. They're told, oh, you can't be friends with someone who voted for Trump. You can't be friends with someone.
But more importantly, if you're an educated person, why wouldn't people not have the right to have freedom of speech?
Well, yeah, those don't. Yeah, I mean, I agree.
No, meaning I'm saying you're not ignorant. What I'm saying is you're not ignorant. If you people should be allowed to have their rights and be who they are.
Right,
and
but
say
a lot
what
of
they
people
want to say.
don't agree with that.
I agree. I understand, but it just is. It's shocking. It's still. I find it shocking.
Yeah,
honestly,
it's just crazy that there are people out there that are. Remember, I told you about my friend's friend. So I was in LA with my friend a while ago. Remember, and I met one of her friends who knew a girl that I grew up with. Remember, I'm going to mute it.
So very weird.
So this girl,
and by the way, and we love their parents. Like the parents, nice people.
well, yeah. So I was at a party and I met this girl, and it turns out she works with a girl that I grew up with, like knew since I was a little kid, was friends with all through high school.
And the families were friends. We like them. They're good people.
And so she's
actually one of my doctors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just this is with the girl, the daughter. I don't know about the parents, but
I like the parents. No, the parents. I like the parents a lot.
This girl asked. She knew that I guess that's the girl that she worked with knew me, so she asked her about me, and the girl said to her that I was gross and vulgar. But I haven't spoken to this girl in like 4 years since high school, longer. So I haven't spoken to this girl in 7 years.
Long in the 4 year.
And that's how I left high school. We were friends, but now just because of this podcast, that's how she thinks of me, and it's like, whoa, it's crazy.
And the funny thing, and you're really not vulgar. You actually speak both sides. Like you push me to see the other side.
Yeah,
you're much more easy-going, and also it's people are bizarre.
It's just
but then
crazy,
again, but you know,
like
Bronny, there's so many people in the world. Do we need we can weed out a lot of people. Honestly, there's only 7 days a week. I don't even have time to see the people I really, really want to see. So if someone doesn't like me, I
don't care that this girl thinks that way.
It's just shocking.
It's just bizarre that it's like there are people out there who are forming opinions of me without talking to me. Whoa, look at the seaplane.
Oh, that's cool.
Seaplane's just landing. That's cool.
So when Burke at USC his freshman year, a girl from Boca, there's 4 girls in a quad. And she had to leave the second semester because the other 3 girls were not Trump supporters, and they knew she voted for Trump, and they bullied her. Now, if it was just because he voted for her, if it was reversed, could you imagine?
Well, I would bully someone who voted for Biden.
No, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
You got food all throughout your teeth.
It's not food. I was chewing on coffee beans before I came here. I ate a few espresso.
Well, that's got to be bad for your teeth.
Why?
To darken your teeth?
What? To chew on?
Okay.
It's like they're beans.
Can you eat them?
Yeah, of course. I like eating espresso beans.
Wow. Yeah, I wouldn't be friends with Bronson either. Okay.
What? That's like a good snack. You just pop a few.
Okay.
I used to eat chocolate-covered espresso beans. Were really, really good. That's like a good snack because it tastes like coffee.
They're
but
not hard?
Crunchy. They're like any other nut. Like they're a bean. Yeah. So that's what that is. So sorry.
I don't care.
But yeah, it's just bizarre that like people form opinion. I mean, I guess that's what. When you put your voice out there to the public, like we do, people will form opinions. Like,
and I'm okay with that.
Of Joe Rogan,
Boy,
of Chris D'Elia.
I'm okay with them forming opinions.
Yeah,
but it's shocking that people will tell friends not to be friends with us because of that. That you need to get a life.
Yeah. No, I mean, but then I guess
you fat bald fuck.
But then is it important to like not watch what we're saying and curb what we're saying, but like
no.
But there are certain things, right? Like that I would say to like you. But should I be saying that to the world forever in perpetuity? Because these things will exist forever.
No. Well, some things you need to be careful about.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Some things are no one's business.
Right.
So you have to decide what that is. Now,
and I've made those mistakes sometimes on
the show. Yes, you have. I know you have.
We've learned that.
Yes, I know you have. And so there's some things that are just no one's business, period.
Yeah, and there are some things that maybe are just better left unsaid. And that's, I guess,
that's
maturity is learning
that's what I'm
those.
saying. Yes.
Is learning... Yeah, because they exist forever, right? Like forever, my children will be able to hear certain conversations that we've had where I'm like, oh, you probably should have known that, Yeah. But that's just whatever. I'm also just an open person, so that's just part of it.
And the things you hear and know about me, does it really change anything about? Because you know who I am, and we have been a very open, no filter relationship as a family.
Right. Yeah.
It probably was a big adjustment for Mom.
Yeah, I mean,
but it's been 33 years now with Mom. Yeah, so she's used to it. Yeah. And then for you kids, you've grown up.
We've always been this way. But now, like, it's.
But what about your friends?
Now it's like recorded forever.
Your friends probably know too. But new friends probably have art. You could.
No, new friends now. It's like they only know me. People who have met me since we've been doing this. It's so weird because like they only know me as someone who has a podcast.
Oh, interesting.
But then I was thinking about that the other day. It's like, it's so weird because now, like, I'm going to law school soon. Like my whole career path has changed, right? And my whole life has changed, right? Like now I have a podcast and I'm going to be a lawyer. So that's all my friends who meet me now. That's all they think of me as. Where like, if someone met me 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I was like, they thought of me as in film,
an artist,
making movies,
a little more liberal.
It's just like so funny how like
life changes.
I had a whole career in film. I was like working on all these movies, doing all that stuff. My kids will probably not even know that.
Do you miss it?
No, but like, you know how you will say stuff sometimes to us? You'll be like, oh yeah, I was the captain of the soccer team. And we're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What? We're like, and that was like a big part of your life at one point, and we had no idea. We were like, we don't even believe you. You know, like my kids.
I know you tease me on all this.
Right.
Things.
Like one day I'll be watching a movie and I'll say something and be like, you don't know anything about movies. And I'll be like, well, actually I worked for Leonardo DiCaprio, bitch. And they'll be like, no, you didn't. You know, they're like, they won't believe me because they'll be like, you're just a lawyer. You didn't do that stuff. Right. It's just weird how like, there was a whole part of my life that even my friends nowadays, that like I have to tell them these things. Where back in the day, my friends just knew this because that's what I did. And then even at one point, probably too, like, you know, this podcast will not be a thing. Probably. I know you. But like then I'll have to like tell people, oh yeah, I had a podcast through COVID and it was like big and we had all these sponsors. And they'll be like, I don't believe you. But it's like, you know what I mean? It's just weird how life
hundreds,
is like that.
Probably over 1,000 episodes.
Yeah, maybe.
You got to keep it going. You need the
1,000 episodes.
How many do we have now? 200 something?
No, this is episode 140.
And Patreon.
Yeah. Oh, sure. So
yeah,
we have.
It's over 200.
Yeah.
Right.
But 1,000.
Yeah, but it's no big deal.
We've been doing this for 2 years now.
Right. So what's your point?
Yeah, over 2 years.
If anything, it's worse for me.
No, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying 1,000 episodes is crazy. Rogan's been doing it for 10 years. He does 3 episodes a week. He just hit 2,000 last week.
All right, so we'll go 500. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, no.
The problem is the people demand it.
No,
we're feeding.
I'm not saying that
we got to fuel the fire.
That's not what I'm saying. That's a whole other thing. I'm just saying
fuel the fire. Yeah.
It's crazy that like you have these parts of your life that are like, or even like I bet it's weird for you. Like before you had us, you probably had a whole life, right? Like I think of myself now.
Can we just pause for a moment? We just think of those good times, which is 1 minute. Everybody, we're not having technical difficulties when you hear a moment of silence. 1 minute. Good times. All right, go ahead.
But you know what I mean? Like I think of how I am right now. And like, this is my whole life, you know, like I do all these things and it's like, I have a whole life with all these things.
Yeah, Kanahara poo poo.
No, but, and then once, you know, in 10 years, my whole life is going to be so different, but my kids aren't going to know what my life was like now. I mean, I guess they will with this podcast.
So what's really cool is as a parent, right? Because same thing, I don't know about my parents' upbringing, right? But me being a parent.
But your parents had their whole life before you. That's what I'm saying.
Me being a parent, I've seen every stage of my kids' lives, which is great.
But what I'm saying is like you were a person that did your own shit, lived your own life, had your own all this shit before I existed. That I know nothing about.
That's okay. We could tell you about it.
No, yes. I know. It's just crazy.
But that's the way it is. You know, so going back to the friend things or like your career change, whatever, you'll see as you get older, life has many different chapters. And like, the expression one door closed, another one opens. It's interesting. You go through phases. You can have friends that come in your life for a certain particular purpose, right? And then it could be whether it's a month or 10 years. And women have a harder time with that aspect, with the friendship, because, like, they're just different.
Mom holds on to every single friend.
Yeah, like, oh my God, that person's my friend. When's the last time you spoke to them? 35 years. I'm like,
she's like, but we have to. They're an old friend. And it's like, but you've hung out with them 3 times your whole life.
So to me, it's nice. I think these different chapters, different experiences, the different points in your life with age, when your kids reach a certain age, there's all different chapters. I got to tell you, I think it's enjoyable, like different things to look forward to, and doing the same thing all the time I think is boring. So I like it. Like this is a good phase Mom and I are at. I think it's a good chapter. But I was looking last night at pictures when you kids were little. Oh my God, so cute.
Yeah, but you wouldn't want to do that again.
I honestly cannot do it.
Right, but that's
like if I was Alec or David, I couldn't handle it.
Yeah, but that's what it should be.
Yeah, I'd be stressing.
I'm just saying it's funny, like, and all our lives we've made fun of. You've said things, like before you were like, oh yeah, I did this, and we're like, no, you did it. Like that's so weird.
I can't wait for the kids to tease you.
But you know what I mean? Like to us, we're like, no, you're just our dad. Like your life started when our life started. But that's so not true.
True, because that's all you know.
Right, but like me being in my life right now, it's like I've had a whole life, done all these things before any of my kids ever existed, and one day they'll exist and they won't know any of it because it'll just not have mattered to them.
But here's the difference,
because to a kid, your dad is just your dad. It's not a person.
But this podcast and social media
Right. Yeah.
will allow your children to see your life, which is a beautiful thing. Unlike,
I don't know. Is it though?
I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a cool thing because I'll give you an example.
But like it might break the barrier. Like, you know how you always say, don't be like friends. You know, like when I was a kid, you were totally just my dad, where it was like you were this figure of, I mean, we had a close relationship too, but there was a barrier between that, right? It was like,
but that's easy to maintain.
but if my kids through this podcast hear me talk about everything, they know me like as this 20-year-old person.
But that's when you were 20. Now, if you're 40, you have an 8-year-old. So you ever have a situation where I say, don't speak like that to your mom, and you don't mean intentionally, but that's the parent's obligation to still make sure separate.
But that's what I'm saying. I think my kids will have a harder time distinguishing that barrier.
I don't think so.
It'll be more fluid.
It's up to you.
Yeah.
I'll give an example. When I play with Banks and I'm playing, but when I'm done, he knows.
Right. Yeah,
you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So I think it's sort of nice. Like, I wish I knew more about my dad. You know what I'm saying? I wish I had the history other than a photo.
I know, but no one in history, no father-son, parent-child relationship
knows
up until this one, mine, pretty much.
Correct.
Has experienced that. So, like, we don't know if that's going to be good or bad. You know what I mean?
It'll be very interesting.
Every single generation up until mine will have had the relationship between parent and child of a you know, the child doesn't know much about the parent's life pre. They just know maybe stories, right? They never were able to experience it firsthand, or I guess it would be secondhand. But my children will be able to experience pretty much my whole life before them secondhand. They'll see plenty of videos, plenty of pictures, and it's not like, you know, we could see videos of you, but they were like a minute long, and it was like on film, and it wasn't very good.
And we're not acting, but it's not spontaneous.
It was different because you were like, oh my God, there's a camera. We have, you know.
Hi, how are you?
Now it's like there's just hours of footage.
But that's why you have to be careful what you say.
Yeah, no, I know, but that's what's interesting.
Is entertainment. This podcast is an entertainment thing. It's a little bit different.
But even pictures, like my kids, you know, will have seen thousands of pictures of all my trips and all my life stages. I've seen 30 pictures of you as a kid total my whole life. You know what I mean? And you've probably seen 2 of your dad your whole life. So it's like, I don't know what the effects of that will be. It'll just be interesting. I've never thought of that until now.
It's a good point, but I think you just have to work to make sure you keep this separate. That, you know, you're the parent, the kids need guidance, they want structure, they want discipline, and you and your wife will need to do that. And it's a little bit different when your kids are younger.
True, I'm talking like teenagers.
Yeah,
when a kid's 4 years old, it doesn't matter.
I think the teenagers, when you have them, will be growing up quicker than when I had them.
Oh my God,
and, you know,
definitely.
So it's going to be hard as a parent to
traverse the
not traverse to
navigate.
Yeah, navigate that and put boundaries and parameters on it.
It'll be so hard because, like, I feel like most generations, you know, up until yours was kind of one of the first. Yours was the first where it was like, I feel like the parents were like, this is a new world. I don't even know the world that my kids are living in. You know, with like you guys had technology, you had phones. I mean, it wasn't like
I get it, but cell phones, which were the brick cell phones, and no one really had them, didn't come out until college.
Right, but like but still,
no one had them though.
Your generation,
the movie Wall Street started it.
Yeah,
just so you know.
But your generation,
when you were movie?
With Michael Douglas, yeah. Your generation of growing up, of being teens and 20s. Let's just say 20s, right? Because teens is one thing, but like 20s is where you really become an adult, you know? It's where you really like grow up. Your generation was the first where it was like the world started changing. The 80s and 90s was like everything before the 80s and 90s was kind of the same, right?
It was
there
a great time.
New things, but like the parents could look at their children and be like, I understand what you're going through. Your parents were probably the first generation where like, I don't understand. And then you guys even more with us, like there were, you know, social media, the internet, all this shit where like, you were like, I literally, and you might not have thought this, but it's true. Like you couldn't understand certain things that we were experiencing just because you never experienced them. And then me with my kids, it'll be even crazier. I'll be 40 and be like, I have no idea what the fuck.
Yeah, like why do you have a chip in your head?
Yeah, like it'll just be crazy shit where it's like I don't even understand the words you're saying.
You're in your bedroom, but you're doing a hologram and you're at a party at your friend's house?
Exactly. Where like that shit, that shit'll be so hard because
Dad, get out. I'm having a party virtual VR.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Dad, I'm in China right now.
Dad,
Get
I'm
out.
having sex. Like, what do you mean? You're in the bed? What? Like, it's all,
Yeah. But like the thing is,
I'm on the phone with my friend who's in Mars, on Mars.
Yeah, generations have grown up where the
Fucking
parents
retarded.
can help their children raise their children, right? Like that's been a big part of why humans have been successful. Is that grandparents help their children raise their children, and
I didn't have that.
But yeah, but you didn't, but you know what I mean, right? Like
Yes,
the village
cultures.
helps.
Yes,
it
takes a village to raise a child.
And so you could go to your parent and be like, I don't understand. Like, I'm confused. How do I handle this situation? And most of history, the grandparent can say, oh, we went through this. I got you.
Listen, Daniel-san.
But you know what I mean? Like like you as the grandparent, or for most of history, would say, oh yeah, I experienced this with you. This is exactly how you handle it. I already made the mistakes. Here's how you handle it.
I think it'll be okay.
I don't know.
I think it'll be okay.
I think there's going to be a lot of shit where it's like,
I think it's
what
still.
the fuck?
I still think in the world, the little bubble that we live in, right? That we and our friends and things like that. You're gonna go. You're gonna do all the mommy and me. You're gonna do the private schools. You're gonna do the education.
It's not that stuff. It's the internet stuff.
I think
you couldn't go to your parents. Mom couldn't go to her parents and be like, we don't know. What should we do? Should I not let them on Facebook until they're 15? Should I not, like, you know what I mean? Like, they didn't experience that. So Bubby and Nana would have been like, I don't even understand what you're talking about.
correct, but we do.
But if I come to you and I'm like, but my kid is going on VR, all their friends are only virtual. If I don't let them go virtual, you will be like, I don't fucking know.
No, that's not necessarily true because I think that our generation is a very somewhat educated, well-rounded generation.
And you also have one foot in both.
Knowledge, right? So I think that listen, you and your wife will make a decision, and you can ask for our opinions or whatever it is. And here's the big learning factor. Everything's sort of been invented. So
you're so wrong.
Let me talk about. I'm talking about raising kids. Okay, just hear me out for a minute. Okay, I mean, I don't mean literally everything. There's always something, but I'm saying generally the core, the foundation.
But don't you say every episode this country's changed so much I don't recognize these kids because the foundation's changed.
No, but let me explain what I'm saying. But there's a certain core. So you'll see as you're very intuitive and aware of your surroundings, you're gonna emulate the things that you like, that you see in people and parenting and children. And you're going to make sure that when you see the bratty kid, the kid running around the restaurant, or the kid playing the iPad, while they're having dinner, that those things are not right. So you're going to follow that. So we as parents has always tried to emulate things that we like, that we've seen in people and their parenting and the children, and make sure, and we don't do it perfectly, but make sure we try to not do those things. Like, for example, yesterday, that couple, the gay couple with the kid.
They weren't gay, 100% not. 100% not. That was...
Oh, I disagree with you.
I mean, I guarantee you they weren't.
Why?
Because they were both not gay acting, right?
What do you mean? They were... Oh, I disagree, but that's okay.
If Bryce and I took Zerai to dinner, would people just assume we were gay? No.
No, but I think... Listen, so, okay, it doesn't matter. But
it was two guys, normal-looking dudes.
No.
One guy...
No, what do you think, gay?
One guy was sitting...
Of course.
It was a 3-year-old kid. One guy was sitting very close to the kid. The kid was right next to Dad and had his hand on one of the guys.
Okay.
And he was the one setting up the other thing. And the other guy was sitting far away and just chatting with the other guy, wasn't interacting with the kid really. Okay. I think it was just friends getting dinner.
So you think one was a dad?
I think one was the dad and the other was a friend, 100%.
Okay,
but whatever.
It doesn't matter. Okay, and that's fine. I don't really care. But the point is, they put the iPad up right away. And I'm saying to myself, now, this is very common today, and people can do what they want, but they would do that so the kid can be entertained while they eat. I don't agree with that. Yeah. You might say, we do want to do that. That's your choice. Right. I think that's a bad thing.
But there are going to be new things that it's like you don't know. But the thing is, But you won't be the first. You'll see other people that have kids. It's like... I know, but people don't know how to navigate it already with the simple... Compared to what it will be in 20 years, the tech we have is simple and rudimentary compared to what it will be. With this simple rudimentary tech, teen suicide, all-time high. Teen depression, all-time high. No one knows how to navigate it clearly because there are bad symptoms that are coming out of it. So people aren't knowing how to handle it correctly. And so that's with this level. It's right. Do you agree with me that it's only going to get more complicated?
I think yes, there's things out there that we don't know, but but the difference is here's where I think, and there's nothing wrong with things that you don't know. That's part of life and that's growing and learning. The difference is if you're in touch and you have a good spouse and you are aware of your children and you take the time and you're in the moment and you want to better yourself and better your family's life, you will do the...
You shouldn't put your phone on your top of your balls.
Why? I'm not having children anymore. I just don't want... Okay, then I'll leave it here. I just didn't want it.
It could potentially give you testicular cancer or something.
Oh, okay. I didn't want it.
You shouldn't put your phone on top of your testicles.
Well, first of all, I don't have any balls. I lost those years ago. But the thing is this. So nice. That was perfect timing. So my point is, I think that you'll grow, you'll learn, you'll see, and you'll try different things. If some things work, some things don't work. But it's all about consistency and staying on top of it. And as a parent, you stay on top of it. You can take we have certain people we know where mom always makes the sounds, doesn't she?
But it's not about staying on top. Like, of course, staying on top.
No,
of
but
it,
Bronny,
but there are things that you don't know.
So what?
Right? Like your kids.
You
could be like, I'll only let them on social media during the day. But then it's like they're going to go on it at night.
And
they're talking to strangers and they're seeing websites that they shouldn't see.
Okay,
and that's only going to get worse.
Okay,
and then it's like that's why they're killing themselves.
Okay, but listen,
it's just the thing that
the
I think
kids killing themselves is more than just social media. There's deeper issues there. Okay, there are. You can't just say it's social media. There's deeper issues with the kid. There's deeper issues with the family. I'm not blaming families. I'm saying, but there's deeper issues. And I'm not saying we're all know-it-all.
A well-adjusted kid is not going to.